Hey, everybody, welcome into The Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network, episode 2. So happy to be with you. Happy Taco Tuesday, some people like to say. I think LeBron tried to trademark that once. That didn't work. Jack, Nick, how both of you guys doing today?
You know, it's great to be back down here, day 2. Not a ton going on last night. Saw the Sabres won a shootout. We had Monday Night Raw debut on Netflix. Rumors John Cena's going to the Royal Rumble to win the title. So I don't know.
Hey, how are those Blue Jackets doing?
They're doing better than people thought they did this year.
You keep up with hockey, Nick? You a hockey guy?
I know what's going on enough to tread water, but I literally just watch it if the replay is on when I'm at the gym.
Okay, so I know nothing about hockey. Jack is our resident hockey expert. So who's the best team, Jack?
That I'm going to tell you? I'm going to tell you my Vegas Golden Knights, but I'd go with the Winnipeg Jets right now. They're playing solid hockey. Connor Hellebuck's
and Florida Panthers won last year's Stanley Cup,
yes,
right?
and the year before they lost to Vegas in the Cup. So, yeah, it's been a couple good years down in Sunrise.
I got you. Well, whenever we need to talk about hockey, I'll definitely flip that to you, Jack. But we're going to start today talking about football, kind of like how we did yesterday, though. As Browns fans, we know we will be in the quarterback cycle looking for one next season. That's, of course, because we know Deshaun Watson will not be playing for our Cleveland Browns, although he will be on the roster. Whatever, that doesn't matter. But we're going to flip it to some other teams here. Just like Cleveland, the Jets, the Raiders, the Tennessee Titans, the Giants, and New Orleans, they will be in the market for a quarterback. Obviously, the names like Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Fields, Russell Wilson are going to be probably available. Sam Darnold, possibly, if they don't franchise tag him or get him to a new deal. So before we dive into this, do you guys have any intuition about a certain team next season that you see a quarterback definitely going to a new team?
I think Sam Darnold's staying put. I think we could start with that one. I think they'd be crazy to let him walk. I know that creates the world's most awkward logjam with J.J. McCarthy sitting right behind him. But I really think that potential suitors could, as of today, as of January 7th, could cross J.J. McCarthy or Sam Darnold, both, right off their list. I think they're both staying in Minnesota.
I have one for our Browns here, Rye. And before everyone comes at me for my throat on this one, we're in cap hell. Everyone knows that. It's negative $17 million.
Supposedly. Jack Duffin will tell you different. The capologists know what they're doing.
They do. There's the people in the know. But you're going to have to find a quarterback for cheap for next year. I don't think we're going to have the money to get Jameis back. You're probably going to draft a quarterback. But when I'm looking at week 1 for the Browns next year, it's kind of been the thing recently to go out and get those retreads, those busts, the guys who haven't been able to show it in the NFL. What would you guys think about the MILF hunter himself, Zach Wilson, coming to Cleveland?
I'm cool on that. No. I'm totally cool on that. I understand Sam Darnold got out of there and he looks well, but no, I'm totally out on Zach Wilson. I think that would be another waste of a season.
That's what we're trying to do, though. We stink.
Yeah, but you're not going to go into next season trying to stink.
Why not?
Why would you? That makes no sense.
Because we have no cap space. We don't have a quarterback. We won 3 games this year.
We got to get a quarter way through the season at least before you start bringing in talking about the MILF hunter.
Oh no, I think you start with him so then you can lead into Shadur or whoever you grab in the draft, and then you can go from there. I'm not saying Zach Wilson's going to lead you to 10 games and be the best quarterback of all time. I'm saying Zach Wilson can take a couple snaps for Coach Kev.
I don't know. We'll see about that. I don't know if you work in that system. But anyway, let's flip it back to Aaron Rodgers. Potentially, he's talked about maybe retiring, stepping away from the game after an illustrious career. Of course, he'll go into the Hall of Fame. Guys, Aaron Rodgers, do you see him playing football again? I certainly don't think it's for the New York Jets. But if he goes elsewhere, I'm not sure where a good fit for him would be. But I think he's only got at least maybe one more year left in the tank.
Did you see that quadruple pass he had with Devontae Adams over the weekend?
Yes, that blew up.
Back and forth. He's done. A-Rod's done. He's not going anywhere.
You think he's going to retire?
He's going to Jeopardy.
Jeopardy.
Yeah. Wow.
Him and Ken Jennings. Yeah.
Is that your 2025 prediction?
Yeah, I could see A-Rod back on Jeopardy.
Fair enough.
I like that. I will say the post-game Aaron Rodgers press conference with Pam Oliver surely seemed like a guy that was done. If we know anything about him, though, we know he's probably going to milk this. He's going to act like he's done. He could pull a 180 and change his mind that he's not actually done. I know that, speaking of the Browns, just because we're here in Cleveland, I know, nationally they've been tossed around a little bit. How about another, AFC North team? I wouldn't put it past the Steelers and him and Mike Tomlin kind of have, a little bit of a bromance. They still have Arthur Smith. Their offense, I really don't buy. I know we talked a little bit of playoffs yesterday. I don't buy into the Steelers doing anything in the first round. So if they go out and get decimated in the first round and Russell Wilson looks bad, I could see them just shaking Russell Wilson and Justin Fields' hands and saying, good luck to you both. We're finding our path towards the future. And maybe they're the team that goes Aaron Rodgers and then a guy like Jackson Dart or something in the second round for like a quarterback plan for the future. But I think Rodgers is done. It kind of sucks because like before Rodgers was like a known bona fide head case. I mean, he is like one of the most exciting quarterbacks in our generation ever. So I'll definitely miss watching him, but this season was definitely it was far from prime Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is probably one of the best deep ball throwers. It's so effortlessly, but God, he just seems like such a head case now. I mean, I don't know if he was like this before, but now that, media is more prominent, smoking the ayahuasca, going on Pat McAfee, like, I don't really want that in my locker room.
I don't think you smoke ayahuasca, by the way.
Oh, what do you do with ayahuasca? Is it like
I think it's almost like a soup and you kind of like
you drink it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not on my ayahuasca game, I guess. But would you guys, I guess I'll end it with
do ayahuasca?
I don't know if we can do that yet, but would you
3.
rather have Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers going forward next year if you were in a team similar like the Browns, like the Titans? I know the Titans are probably going with the draft route, but I guess more of a comparison is like you said, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, New Orleans. Would you rather go with Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers at this point in both their careers?
Ryan, for me at this point in their careers, it's almost like asking, would you rather drink piss or eat shit, kind of? Like, wow. I don't think either of them have much good football left in them.
Well, what
and I'm
would
a big
you rather
Kirk Cousins guy. If we're going the old quarterback route?
No, to your first comparison, I'm asking.
Gosh, I mean, maybe this is a crazy thought. Is Jimmy G still in the league? I feel like you can get a couple reps out of Jimmy G, right? He's a winner. He goes out there, gives you his 180 yards and no turnovers. Is he still in the league? He's got to be cooking somewhere.
Yeah, he just played for the Rams.
Played for the Rams.
Yeah, they lost the Seahawks, but he didn't look that bad, actually.
Yeah, give me some
porn star Jimmy G. Yeah, that's another great question. Aaron Rodgers goes to Jeopardy. Does Jimmy Garoppolo get into porn?
There's been rumors about that for a while. I don't know, possibly.
That's because of Stephen A. I will say, I think Rodgers would be more fun. If you're in the market for that, Kirk Cousins was so weird because remember he got so mad about RG3 in Washington. He got so mad at the Vikings last year. This year he was mad about Michael Penix. He doesn't really want to be a mentor. He genuinely believes, and I don't blame him, that he believes that he could go out there and play good ball. I mean, maybe if there was, and we've heard so much about how Stefanski this year has done a better job relating to players. I could see the Tennessee Titans or the Cleveland Browns both throwing a dart at Aaron Rodgers, just because what else are you going to do? The options are two guys that are coming off Achilles injuries. The Titans and the Browns both are known for throwing paydays at players. Remember when the Titans came out of nowhere and they paid Jadeveon Clowney, they paid DeAndre Hopkins. They are notorious for paying players.
The Dwayne Bowe special.
Careers. Yeah. So I could definitely see either of these organizations kind of, maybe with a rookie, you get Aaron Rodgers. If the Browns, wanted to, they could have a quarterback room of Rodgers, Shedeur, Watson next year.
That would be interesting, Jack.
Bring the circus, baby. I would love that.
What
more could you ask for?
If we're
gonna suck,
why would you try when you're trying to wipe away this? If you're talking about the Browns specifically, why would you trying to wipe away the stink of somebody with 28 sexual assault allegations? I think I might be underplaying that. I think it's more at this point.
Well, he's not
and
leaving.
You bring in a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who I'm not saying has that same circumstance, but a guy who's certainly not looked that well in the spotlight.
Well, I think if Aaron has any good football left in him, it's worth going after. And you're not getting rid of Deshaun no matter what happens. He's not getting traded. He's not getting cut. He might be on the PUP list now is the rumor, and saw a lot of stuff on Twitter about that yesterday. I'm sure we can get into it. But I don't know. At that point, just have fun. Why not just have the most entertaining quarterback room of all time?
You had that with Jameis.
Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers would say shit out loud probably about Deshaun. He would be yeah, I don't know about that guy. Wait,
you might be onto something.
I think so.
If Aaron Rodgers would openly just come in and just start trolling Deshaun Watson publicly, that would be hilarious.
I think that's what would happen too. It's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that would be awesome. All right, well, an interesting decision for these teams to get quarterbacks. Another interesting decision is flaunting a sub-3 GPA all over social media. One team did that in the college ranks. We'll talk about that and more when we return here on The Big Factor. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to The Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network. And we are brought to you, of course, by our great friends at Fairway Ford. Fairway Ford is the biggest truck dealership in Ohio. They have the largest selection of Ford F-150s and Super Duty trucks, and I promise you that they will not be beat on price by any other Ford dealers. Please, please, please do not let a short drive to Canfield prevent you from saving thousands on your new truck. Fairway Ford, the largest inventory of new Ford trucks, the lowest pricing, as well as the same hometown level of service. I'm imploring you, visit fairwayfordohio.com. Alrighty, Jack. Now, you alerted me to this story, and originally I thought it was Texas Longhorns. But no, it was Texas State. They're the Wildcats?
Oh, they're the Wildcats. They're down there in the Fun Belt, the best conference in college football. So I didn't see
this, Jack, and I guess they since deleted their post, but they were flaunting that their team football's GPA was 2.84, and not only that, it was the highest GPA in team history. Now, listen, I'm not trying to gloat or anything, but a 2.84 is, would you guys agree that's not something that you would flaunt?
Oh, I'm going to come out here and congratulate the Wildcats on that. I mean, if you're getting up there to 2.84 for the first time in team history, you're down the Sun Belt, you're trying to compete with some of the other great schools like Jacksonville State, Sam Houston State. You have it off the field and on the field every single week when you go to Texas State. That's why you go to Texas State to play football. So, yeah, good for them. But, I mean, what a joke, guys. 2.84? You're going to post that? That's your highest ever?
I guess so. I mean, I don't know what Texas, I don't know, are they necessarily known for being smart? What's that SpongeBob bit? I'm from Texas. Duh.
Yeah.
So Texas State is in San Marcos, Texas. So is there a lot going on in San Marcos? That's how is Kent State, there wasn't a ton going on. You know, there a little bit here and there, but especially in these winter months, there wasn't a lot going on. So if you're slacking off the first couple weeks of the spring semester, what are you doing? You know, because it's freezing outside. I definitely wouldn't say it's something to gloat about, but deleting the tweet is interesting. You can't delete it.
That's the key part, is that they deleted about it. You got to say with your chest and then stand with it. They admitted they're like, okay, wow, holy shit, yeah, that's dumb, and they still flaunted that.
Well, Ryan, the thing is too, if you look at Nick and I's backgrounds more so, where Nick, we're both sending out somewhere between 50 and 100 posts a day on social media, and you're thinking before you press send every single time, hey, does this make sense? Hey, could this get anyone in trouble? Hey, is this just really, really stupid? Who decided in the first place, yeah, we got a 2.84 GPA. That's basically a C+. Our team got a C+, and that is the highest grade ever for our academic institution. How do you get to that point, guys?
Well, the same person who probably greenlit the post had a sub-1 GPA, I would imagine.
Yeah, they're like, damn, look how that guy's doing.
Another thing with this too is the people that are involved with college athletics in large, and again, I'm speaking from experience here. My minor was in sport administration, so I had a lot of classes with the athletes, more or less, because that's what they went to school for. Those classes, and I'm not trying to undermine my degree, my education, it certainly wasn't rocket science. It certainly wasn't that hard. And it was like, me, a lot of the other, the like kids that were in student media that wanted to go, in a sport specific path, and then like the student athletes. So it wasn't like we had a bunch of scientists and doctors in the room, and it wasn't like the professors were expecting that much either. It was kind of a, hey, we all know what we're here for. Let's push through this thing. So yeah, definitely probably not something to flaunt. And it probably wasn't thought through very well at all.
I mean, Nick, I kind of think it's more so of an indictment on the team managers that do their homework, if you think about it. Like, if they're getting a 2.8 GPA, I mean, you got to start looking through the actual football staff. I mean, do you want people cutting up the all-22 who can't even figure out their geometry homework for the day? I mean, I don't know.
Well, I looked it up. The average GPA at Texas State, 3.31. I think that's not horrible. That's pretty solid.
That's where I sat for a long time. That's like the Mendoza line of Jack O'Rourke.
Nice, the Mendoza line. I like that reference. But yeah, I mean, for a team to come out and do that, like that's something I would think like Georgia would do. Like something stupid like that. Well,
you got to get to class. You can't be in jail to do you can't be getting speeding tickets and stuff. You got to. It's harder to do school.
Drinking and driving.
Yeah, if you're drinking and driving, it's hard to focus on doing schoolwork. I would assume so.
Bro, I saw a tweet, and this is. Like, I'm not trying to make light of the situation. Of course, what happened in New Orleans was horrible. Like, that's just such a horrible event. But somebody tweeted, they said, bro, when Kirby Smart read that, he thought it was one of his players that did it. And it just reminded me of Henry Ruggs. I mean, what's Jalen Carter? Is it Jalen Carter?
Yeah.
Like, what's up with Kirby Smart in Georgia? Why can't they get their stuff together?
There's probably a plethora of issues at hand. I would say the first would probably be a lack of Uber gift cards.
They need an Uber NIL deal?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
How would that, I mean, that would get so much play nationally if that happened because of all the issues. I mean, Georgia's had, 30 arrests in the last 3 years? Like, that's borderline. We're looking at Urban Meyer, Florida at this point.
Dude, it's like the longest yard.
Yeah, it is. Paul
Uber would never touch that, though. They should. You
don't think they would?
There's probably
some suit at Uber would nix that. That would get nixed at the.
Not if it was a Texas State graduate.
At the Jack O'Rourke, level of idea, like he would be pitching that up the ladder, and it would fall short somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to think it'd be Lyft or someone who's trying to get an edge up on Uber. I don't know if there's any other ride-sharing services who are below Lyft in terms of the national prevalence, but if there are, that's where I would hop if I was you guys.
What about the Lime scooters? You guys ever use those?
I don't mess with scooters.
No,
man.
Those are crazy.
What? You don't mess? Why don't you mess with scooters?
Jack and I have both had a very similar close call on these scooters.
I've rode a scooter one time, and it was across the Guardian Bridge down to a playoff game at Progressive Field. And I'm not a very athletic person in the first place. So I was like grabbing it, like stopping and starting. And there was someone who was going way faster than me on the scooter because they knew what they were doing. Cut me off. I had to brake and slow down. Just ran right off the thing to the edge of the bridge and caught. I mean, I wouldn't have gone over because the bridge is taller than my 5'0" self. But I mean, it could have been very bad in another scenario.
Yeah, I will say the amount of people like in college when I was at Cincinnati that I've like seen get on those drunk and just eat shit.
Oh, I know people that have broken stuff.
Yeah,
being drunk.
Somebody's mom broke like her leg. It was crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Mom?
dude. Like on Parents' Weekend, imagine that. You go to see your kid and you just eat it on a Lime scooter and you're in the hospital.
Then you got to go into work on Monday.
You got to go to work on Monday.
Yeah.
There's no denying what happened. Like
Parents'
you can't.
Weekend.
And it's like from where I am, it was like a 4-hour drive. So like imagine if it was even further than that.
Or like God forbid a flight. Like you're one of those. You're one of those people that's boarding the plane early. Yeah, with your foot up like that, and everybody's watching you go by. You're like all hung over in a wheelchair. That sounds awful.
Alrighty, well, Delta Airlines or American Airlines? We're not going to answer that, but we're going to play a game similar to that called This or That, courtesy of Jack O'Rourke. I think me and Nick are going to get into a couple debates here. I'm interested. You said you had some questions for us. I think it's music, food, anything, pretty much, right?
Potpourri, as they call it.
Potpourri. All right. Well, we'll be back with that when we get back here on The Big Factor. Welcome back to The Big Factor, everybody. Happy Tuesday again. Taco Tuesday, as I said earlier. Jack, tacos or pizza?
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
Pizza, 100%.
All righty, we'll take it away. We're going to be playing a new game, this or that. Jack.
Yeah, folks, it's this or that. We got Ryan pitted against Nick here. You guys got to decide what you like more. Maybe you have some debate in here, or you agree. Who knows? Let's start it out. Going a little bit more Cleveland-centric here based on our current sports situation. Would you guys rather have a bad football team, so in our case, the Browns, but your other teams in town are good, so for us, Cavs guards,
Right.
or would you rather have the Browns for once be like Bills, Chiefs level great, and the other teams are just Browns level bad for once?
Oh, it's easy for me. I'd say Browns be good. I love the Cavaliers and Guardians, but I've seen both of them be really good. I've never seen the Browns be somewhat decent. So for me, it's easily the Browns.
I'm almost to that point. With the caveat being, how good are we talking for Cavs and guards? Like, because the Cavs and guards are currently good. The guards we knew probably weren't going to win the World Series, and they didn't. The Cavs, maybe similar story. Like, it depends what happens in the playoffs with Boston and then whoever could come out of the West. But like, if they were championship good, then I would say Cavs and guards, just because I'll take a title any day you're offering it to me. Those aren't easy to come by in a town like this. But if we're talking about just like petering around being a playoff team, kind of like we presently are, I take a gamble on the Browns being really good. Like the Lions, like that'd be a ton of fun.
Dude, that would be absolutely crazy. I couldn't even imagine the city if the Browns were as good as the Lions or the Bills, dude. That would burn down. Like, I mean, you know how many people are at the Cavs parade? Imagine that for the Browns. That'd be like tenfold.
Yeah, there'd be 10 million people in Cleveland.
All right, well, we're in agreement for the first one. That's a pretty good start.
Yeah, good for you guys. So second one, this stems from a recent experience I had with Nick. We went to the world premiere of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 together, which is a pretty cool experience. You don't get to see Sonic and the fellas that often. Would you guys rather watch a movie in the theater, bunker it up, get your popcorn, or watch on Netflix or somewhere at home?
Home.
Really?
For sure. I have a slight fear, Jack, and I think we talked about this with Gab before we went in the movie. I'm not a big movie theater fan. It's a scary, I don't know, just be like the way that the world is. I'm not going to say anything out loud, but I'm not a big movie theater guy.
See, I'm the opposite. I love the movie theater experience, like getting popcorn and whatnot, and just like the IMAX, all like the giant screen and it's complete pitch dark. I absolutely love that. Like, if there's a movie I really want to see, I'm looking forward to, then I'm definitely going to the theater to see it.
And you can just roll yourself back in those chairs. I mean, Nick, it's just like, it's like going to a sports game. It's an experience. Like, you get all excited, like, 7 o'clock, we're going to see this movie. I mean, we kind of lost it a lot with COVID, I think. But,
yeah,
Nick, I don't know. I can't agree with you on that one.
I don't want to be sitting at home.
There's metal detectors at sporting events, and there's not at movie theaters. I'll leave it there.
That's fair. That is fair. So next one. This one might be a pandering pick because I know both of you very well.
Oh, no.
Heading over to music on this one. This or that, Mac Miller or Gunna?
Come on.
Mac Miller or Gunna?
Yeah.
You said Mac Miller?
Yeah.
Like, I love Mac Miller. He's fantastic. And I would say not many people beat him, but personally, like Gunna, I love Gunna. Like, I think he's amazing. So I would go Gunna. But like, I know people love Mac Miller, like rightfully so, but I think Gunna is like the best out of the game right now.
Like Jack said, we'll fill in the audience on this one. That was a pandering question because I'm not really gonna pick hardly anybody over Mac. Maybe Young Thug I would take over.
Yeah, that's actually a good pick.
Yeah,
Young Thug. I saw him live with MGK in Cincinnati. It was crazy.
I've seen Young Thug live as well, and it was a great time. But that is a Jack pandering pick.
So is he in the process of getting free? Right, Young Thug.
He is free.
He is free already.
You guys see Lil Durk is in trouble
for what?
I think he hired someone to murder King
I
Von.
did see that.
And he might be going away for a long time.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, they don't take too kindly to that.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Young Thug is good to go. I think he's got to do like a couple charity performances throughout the year.
Who is he doing a charity performance for?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think like it would be for, people like us, but the proceeds go to charity, like not to him. But yeah, he's like, and then obviously not scot-free. Like he's gonna have decades on decades of probation. But I mean, he got hit with Rico and he came out okay.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I saw a tweet that said Joy Taylor got hit with the Frico.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see that? That was funny.
Jason Whitlock had a field day. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll get to Jason Whitlock. So next one, going a little bit off topic here. This is more of just a theoretical prisoner's dilemma situation. Would you guys save 100 strangers, 100, or one loved one?
If it's my dog, yeah, but if it's nobody else, I'm saving 100 strangers. If it's my dog, I don't care. Like, I'm saving my dog.
This is like a Mr. Beast video.
Yeah, it is. Can I just off myself and save everyone?
Yeah, how about that?
Wow. That could be a clause in the question. You know, I didn't see that when I got it off Reddit, but yeah.
Oh,
I
you
don't
got
like
these from
these
Reddit?
questions that much.
What'd you say?
I'm not that big of a fan of these questions so far.
Yeah, we haven't hit one that you guys can really argue on yet. Maybe this will change it. Beyonce or Rihanna?
Oh, that's easy for me, actually. Rihanna.
Yeah,
100%.
same.
Rihanna is her.
Okay, see, I'm Rihanna too, but most people are Beyonce, so that's just we're the right crowd, I think.
No, yeah, Rihanna clears.
for sure.
Rihanna clears Beyonce. You see
Yeah.
she got 20 mil for her performance at the football game on Christmas?
yeah.
Beyonce did?
$20 million. I
I think she kind of stunk too.
didn't watch it.
I mean, she brought
I didn't watch
she
it
brought
either.
out
No, I turned that off.
she
I was
brought out
watching the
Shabuzi.
NBA.
What?
She brought out Shabuzi.
Yeah. Speaking of, name 2 Shabuzi songs.
I could name one.
Exactly.
Tipsy, a bar song.
Right.
That's one.
Nobody in the world besides Shabuzi and his mom can name 2 Shabuzi songs.
I mean,
And Jack spent the entire summer hanging out at the farm.
Yeah, come on,
I
dude.
know, I hate that. I'm going to take a stand right now for myself. I hate the farm. No offense to the farm. I would assume the farm's not listening.
There goes that
That
sponsor.
place is so
Yeah, there
crowded.
goes that one.
You can never get a drink. It is $45 for a rum and coke. The
You don't
lines
like
outside.
sticking to the floor.
Oh, and your feet. Yeah, your feet. You got to like plop them worse than John Boys. You got to do that to move around, like you're sneaking around like friggin' Elmer Fudd. I hate that place. I mean, there's no place in Cleveland that I despise more than Welcome to the Farm. Good night, John Boy. Though, if you're listening,
I heard
See
you
you
get
soon.
free pictures with Greg Newsom, though, at the farm every Friday.
no, I think that's Barley
That's
House.
partly how-
Yeah, no, it's
No, he bar hops.
Yeah, I've heard about him being around town before. I've heard DTR is a better touchdown interception ratio downtown as well.
Fair enough. All right, next.
Last one for you guys: pineapple or breakfast pizza?
So, like, what is breakfast pizza like? Is it?
Yeah, sausage.
It's sausage,
Egg?
bacon, eggs, typically.
That's what I would go for. Like I'm not of the belief. I don't hate, and this segment needs a ton of work because I hated all of these questions. I don't hate pineapple on pizza. That whole debate. Like, I would never go out of my way to order a pineapple pizza. Like, I think that's a little weird. But like, if one was sitting there, people do the thing where they get all mad. Pineapple doesn't belong. Whatever. It's pizza. I'll eat it. But I never would opt for it. I guess I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I would go with pineapple because I actually really like pineapple on pizza.
Nick, I'm kind
I
of
think
surprised.
it's the best topping.
I'm kind of surprised with your Italian background that you can just okay pineapple on pizza.
I mean, dude, I'm a Gen Z Italian. What can I say?
Fair enough. All right, that's all I got for the this or that. So
All right, well,
that was our
COVID
list.
or HMPV, that's what we're going to talk about next. I guess there's another virus going around, and if I have to go into solitary confinement again, I won't be coming out on the other side this time. But we're going to talk about that and more when we come back here on the big. Alrighty, welcome back to the Big Factor. I guess somebody made out with Jack, and now we're looking at a new coronavirus type virus. I guess it's called human metapneumovirus.
At least it wasn't a bat this time.
HMPV. It's according to this website, a disease that causes flu, cold-like symptoms, but it's in northern China. Now I guess first case in India today. And Nick, you were the one who said you wanted to talk about this, but is this something where we're going to be headed towards another pandemic? Do you know, Nick?
Dude, I cut out for.
Oh, we're talking about Jack's making out flu. Is it going to be a COVID? Like, is it going to be another pandemic, you think?
Dude, I don't know. What I don't like is that it's been number 1 or 2 on Google Trends for a long time, which means people are looking it up, people are looking into it. It sounds exactly like COVID. Everything that you read was the same thing. Like you said, Ryan, before we went to break, and the reason why I wanted to talk about this today is because I feel like this is something that's yet to really crack the mainstream. So I want it on the record before it does. In the event that it is another COVID, and I'm saying this here at 10:41 a.m. on January 7th. Today is a Tuesday. If this turns into another COVID and I have Mr. Fauci and Governor DeWine standing on my TV every day reporting how many of these HM whatever cases there are, I'm not listening to any of that. I'm going to do the exact opposite of what I did. I'm going to be the Aaron Rodgers of this new virus. I'm going to be the first one to call it a hoax. I'm going to be the first one booking airline tickets to the warmest places on earth. I'm not sitting inside this time. I'm going full anti. I'm not doing the mask or the vaccine or any of it. I did it last time. I played by the rules last time. I'm trying something different this time. I feel like I wasted the first half of my 20s playing their game the original time. I'm not doing it again. I'm not.
It is crazy. We're 4 years removed from COVID now. And It seems like a lifetime ago, but it really wasn't. And I remember, like you said, Nick, I remember reading about COVID when it wasn't mainstream. And it was my freshman year of college. And we're like, is this going to be something? No, we'll be fine. And then the world flipped on its head. But what was your guys' favorite thing to do in solitary confinement? Well, I know Jack's, but he did it 14 times a day. But Nick, what's yours?
Dude, so you know what I did during the pandemic? 1, I got crazy good at Call of Duty Warzone. And 2, I downloaded DoorDash, the Dasher app, and I was just driving people their food.
That's nice, Jack. What were you doing? I was just joking.
Yeah, not far off. I would say probably a good amount of video games. Me and my buddy Daniel would play video games basically every single day. That's what I was going to go with it, actually. I don't want to wish this on myself because man, I would look like a bozo. But I didn't hate solitary. I could sit in my room and hang out for a little bit. I'm a homebody. I didn't mind hanging out with the family, and you got so many bizarre things that came out of COVID that were these huge pop culture icons. What if we got a Tiger King season 2? Who knows? Well, what's Joe Exotic been up to the last couple of years?
Is he not in jail?
Joe Exotic?
He's in jail.
Yeah,
he is most definitely in jail, but I'm sure they could do a live Zoom-in interview with him.
Trump's going to pardon him.
Joe Exotic?
Maybe for the second for season 2, man. The world
that would be. I need some more. You remember the Carol Baskin killed her husband, whacked him. Can't believe that it did. And that it was peak. I loved myself some good Tiger.
No,
King
man,
content.
I'm telling you guys, and I have it on the record today. If this does turn into something, and it's ironic that you guys are in studio and I'm at home, which is the onset of the entire pandemic, and how Big Play even learned how to use this software. But dude, I'm out. I'm gonna be flying more than Taylor Swift. I'm gonna be gallivanting about the United States and beyond. I'm just dude, airline tickets were $15 one way each time. Again, and I'm not trying to be mean and there are a lot of people with grandparents in different situations and stuff, but I live here with my girlfriend and our dog. I'm not going to be killing any old people. I don't get my groceries get brought to me already. I'm going to be gallivanting about. I really am.
This sounds so selfish of me, but at the same time, it's kind of like what you're saying. This is the best analogy for it. When you were a kid and you were at school, and you couldn't bring in peanut butter rather than having a peanut butter free table. They forced everybody to go anti peanut butter. It's like the pandemic. Yeah.
You didn't have a peanut free table?
No.
What school did you go to? I think that's the issue.
I
same
didn't
school
either.
Well, this was me and Nick went to the same high school, but this was like elementary school.
Yeah, in I went to a private elementary school. And yeah, it was the same thing. Like okay, there was one kid in the entire grade. I still remember him that had a nut allergy, and it was just like no nuts.
Well, that's a dumb thing to do out of the school.
Worst nightmare.
Yeah, that's a dumb thing to do out of the school, because when you're thinking about it, you're just making that kid the most hated kid in school, because now everyone can't have peanut butter. Everyone likes Reese's. Everyone likes Jif. Everyone likes PB&Js. I mean, you're just making that kid miserable.
I have to say, he wasn't the most popular kid. See, Jack has a point.
I mean, what do you expect?
Who knows? You know, that kid could have gone on. You know how like Colin Cowherd says, like the attractive kids are always the quarterbacks. You know, they're always like the presidents. Like that starts from a very young age. Like this kid could have been the Cleveland Browns starting quarterback right now, but because he had a nut allergy and because nobody was allowed to bring peanut butter to St. Monica's grade school, which is since closed. Now he's not. Now he's probably working on a machine somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be one of the greatest what-ifs in the history of CYO sports, based off how you worded it.
I don't even think he got that far. I don't even think like third grade basketball. Like I really don't.
Well, I'm glad you guys brought up peanut butter, because this is actually the perfect transition. We're running a little late, so we might have to skip the band segment. But I wanted to talk about the FS1 thing again, because like there was some new stuff that came out, and I don't want to ruin the transition yet when I talk about peanut butter, because it's gonna be super funny. But you'll see what I'm talking about when we get back, because Jason Whitlock, everybody knows good old Jason Whitlock had stuff to say about the FS1 scandal, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on that. We'll talk about it when we return on the Big Factor. Alrighty, welcome back to the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network, and we're continuing talking about this FS1 scandal with Joy Taylor, Skip Bayless, Emmanuel Ocho's involved. Well, Jason Whitlock, who I think used to work with them on FS1, he had some comments about this whole thing, and when I was talking about peanut butter, he basically said he knew to stay away from Joy Taylor because, quote, this is him saying, not me, her big rack and peanut butter skin, she knew what she was capable of doing, and he stayed away from that, and now we're looking at about day 2 of this scandal. And they went on Speak like everything was normal. Somebody said there was more social distancing on that show ever since they haven't seen that much social distancing since COVID. And it's getting to a point now where we're learning more information and whatnot. And do you guys remember anything ever really like this?
I'm sure. I don't have an example of it right off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's had to have been something throughout the years. There's a ton of irony baked into the fact that Jason Whitlock, of all people, decided to weigh in on this, who's pretty much been jettisoned from any mainstream media outlet. And he has more enemies than he does friends in the world of media and broadcasting. So it was funny, but yet predictable that he weighed in. I'm sure there's other examples of situations like this. And I was thinking about this yesterday. I do think this one will also blow over kind of easily because they did exactly what they needed to do yesterday. They went out there, the Joy Taylor and Emmanuel Ocho, like they went on air and acted like there was nothing going on. So they're taking the higher road of we're not seeing any of this. Like, you know, even though they were mentioned in the lawsuit's not against them. So I think this too shall pass type deal with this whole FS1 thing.
Yeah, Nick, do you think that's more of a legal thing that they haven't said anything yet? Because for me, where I'm coming from, I think it's funny if they come out and just don't say a word about it. Like if it was me in that position, I think you come out right away and you're like, hey, this happened, whatever, own up to it. Let's move on and do our show. I think that's the best way to move through with anything in life. But I don't know. I think it's a very odd approach out of them to not come out and say anything on the first show back. I think you have to. They probably got more viewers because of it.
Yeah, they definitely did get more viewers out of it. But if they addressed it, they would have just been giving the aggregators, the Dov Kleinmans of the world, and we could talk about him. That could be its own whole show.
Yeah, I would love to talk about Dov.
Yeah, that dude. I honestly have some guests that could come on and talk Dov Kleinman for hours. But I don't know if it's like a legal thing or if they're just playing like the don't feed them what they want. Like there would be nothing more than for the rest of the media to love them to go out there and address it, because then they could clip that, they could get their clicks that way. So I don't know if it was like a strategic decision, if it was a legal decision, if they just decided like, hey, let's pretend like none of this is going on and just trudge forward. Honestly, could be a hybrid of all three.
Yeah, whenever I think of Skip Bayless now, I always think about his Johnny Manziel take when he said he'd be bigger in Cleveland than LeBron James ever was, and like that had to be probably arguably the worst take in history of like professional media. Like, can you guys remember a worse take than that? I really can't, and I've had some awful takes.
Yeah, if I'm not counting my own takes, then yeah, I think it's probably
that's up there. But that's like Skip's whole thing,
Yeah, that's true. He definitely is out for the clicks. I mean, so is everybody else, but
he's a notorious LeBron hater. He was a big Johnny fan. Like the universe just served that one up to him on a silver platter.
Yeah, that's true. That was like written in the stars for Skip Bayless. That's funny. All right, guys. Well, we're about running out of time here. Closing thoughts. I mean, great. I had a good blast with you guys. Great show too, Nick. I hope you're chilling at home, having fun. Jack.
Yeah, I would just like to offer my services up to the Texas State football team. If you need any help with homework, I've got some more time on my hands now. I'm out of school. So, yeah, I could probably run through a couple of sheets of comm homework for you guys. And shout out to all the fellas listening in. Give one out to Wops.
I love it.
Wops.
It's my friend, yeah.
Oh, that's his name.
It's
okay.
His last name's Whopper, so it's like Wops shorts it kind of.
Cool doing the show from home. That's kind of my final thoughts. A little bit of a different vibe. Really want to use this to give you guys the floor, and I'm here to just help on social and throw in a couple of thoughts. So,
all right, well,
cool.
hopefully
time to jump knee deep back into these Jake Trotter clips.
Well, Jack, Nick wasn't a fan of this or that, so.
Yeah,
table it. Maybe work on it a little bit.
Yeah, we'll work on it. As Tyler Buck once posted on Instagram after he lost to Marshall as the Notre Dame quarterback, we move. You move and you get better every single day.
All right. Well, I hope we'll get better every single day as well. Thanks for tuning in here on the Big Factor on the Big Play Sports Network. We'll be back 10 a.m. tomorrow. Me and Jack again. Nick will be remote, I believe, but appreciate you tuning in. And maybe we'll get some more news about this FS1 stuff, maybe virus stuff. I don't know, but playoffs are sneaking up on us, so we'll have a lot to talk about. Until then, we'll see you Wednesday, and happy Taco Tuesday once again.